with us during the last podcast. And last podcast we talked about some of your background and some of the short stories you wrote and your book, right? Your children's
My
book,
little picture book.
and then we talked about the Writers Guild.
Yes.
Talking again about the Writers Guild. Tell us about the conference that's coming up in April.
Well, I would love to, because that is our biggest event. It's our 3-day conference. Starts on Friday.
It's like
the
our
28th.
signature event.
It is our signature
Are
event.
you in the Writers Guild?
I am.
I'm in the Writers Guild.
And I did PR for the
Do
Writers
people
Guild,
go
so
for
I'm
all
on the
3
board.
days?
I'm sorry?
Do people stay and go for all 3 days?
Oh, yes.
And you don't have to
you-
you don't have to be in the Writers Guild to go to the conferences. do you?
No.
But you
we
save money if you are.
But I mean,
We are
till
all
this
about saving money.
right. I've never been in the Writers Guild till this year, so I was always able to go and not be in it. So everyone else can go even if they're not in it, right?
Yes.
They can get on what is your
Russell's a newbie.
webpage?
Our
Right?
Said you're a newbie.
He is a newbie.
I know.
But our webpage is HoustonWritersGuild.org. And one of the things that, talk about people who come that are not members.
Right.
We do have a substantial discount for members. But even if you're not a member, our conference is the least expensive conference there is.
And
it's
if you're
good
a
that
writer-
and it's good if you let non-members come too, because not a lot of writers aren't joiners, right?
Yes.
Because a lot of us were weird people.
Well, writers in general are more isolated.
Testify that
It's
I
weird
know,
people,
I
right?
know.
Because Sandy works with a lot of writers.
Yeah.
We're weird people, and
I
so
must be weird because I love working with writers.
she keeps
Well,
saying.
we love you.
I'm good. I love you.
But, and a lot of writers, they're not sure if they're welcome or not, but they are, right?
Okay, so we're sitting here talking about writers being weird with a woman who has
I
blue
know.
hair.
So is there like a story behind your hair? Because the first time I met you had purple hair, and you can rock
Yes.
it. So
And I'm definitely gonna do purple hair again. I only did blue because it's winter, and so I felt like
You're
it.
coordinating.
I am.
My mother
love
used
it.
to do blue hair, but I don't think she really meant to.
It was more of a natural thing.
No, it was a hair dye thing. That's,
No, well,
I never told her that.
One of the things I am celebrating my hair.
Okay.
Because some of
I would
sometimes-
celebrate if I had hair.
Well, see, that's
See,
the thing. That's
so
the
I
thing,
understand.
right? Sometimes you go through some things that could end up, taking your hair. And so when you have it, you kind of celebrate it. And one of the best things about it is that when I was a teacher, I always wanted to have like these crazy hair things. And the one time that I did like this little white streak with my regular brown hair, my principal looked at me and was like, no. And I was like, it's not that big a deal.
Especially if you taught poetry.
right?
You know?
I was teaching writing.
You
It
were
was just
treating-
artsy.
So-
Make a poll though, and like a poll of like what your next 2 colors are, and see what people suggest, and you have to do it.
We do
Well,
need to
we
get
can
back
do
to the
that right
writers'
here.
conference.
That would be
Yes,
fun.
we do.
That'd be fun.
Yes, we do. We can have lots
So
of fun.
when
on
is the
these.
writers' conference?
Okay, so the Writers Conference, April 28, 29, and 30.
And
Where
you can
is
sign
it?
up.
You can sign up via the website.
Right.
It is going to be held on the Rice University campus.
Oh, that
Yay,
is.
I'm
That's new.
so
When did that
excited.
happen?
Well, that happened because our wonderful CFO, Alicia Richardson, got a great deal with the campus. For
I
us
love
to
it
use
over
their
there. It's so
space.
beautiful.
Yes.
I go over there and run some.
And we're very glad to be working with them because, we want for new writers, young writers, to kind of
How
get
about
to
us
know
old
that
writers?
y'all writers, we love you guys. We love you guys. But we want to bring in the newbies, who may not know that we exist. A lot of people
So
still
the
don't
younger
know.
people.
Yes.
Well, not necessarily
That's what
because
they're
Russell, like you said earlier, this is his first year to be a member.
The member of it.
So he's not.
What building is
He's
it?
young, but
I believe it's going to be in the Leahy.
it's on the
Really?
website.
It's on the website.
It's on the website.
Yeah, sorry. Off
Way
the
to
top
put
of
her
my
on the
head.
spot.
So what's the schedule?
I just run the organization. I don't actually know anything. Huh?
What's the schedule?
Okay, so it starts on Friday at 2 p.m. with Sarah Cortez, and she's going to be talking about using.
Who is that?
Sarah Cortez. She's a local teacher. She's a writer. She's a poet.
Okay.
And local meeting in Houston.
Local in Houston. She teaches at University of Houston, my alma mater, and so she's going to be doing topics on using poetic techniques in your writing to enhance your prose, which is really good because you can use a lot of poetic techniques.
What
in
does
there.
She's a professor in the English department?
I believe so, yes, at UH.
Or creative
In their
writing.
creative
Is she in the
writing.
Creative writing?
Yes, and she has her own organization. Like you can book her as a speaker, teacher, different writers organizations. She has taught for like Writers League of Texas and others. And that's the thing, you know, is if you really look at our lineup and our editors that we bring and such, you will notice that it's the same caliber, often the same people who teach for some of these other conferences at a fraction of the cost.
Well,
I just want to emphasize.
I thought the writers, and you have, and the writers, I thought the writers conference usually started Friday night with a cocktail party and a speech.
Well,
so this
following
is
her
different,
speech.
right?
Yes, this is a little different because.
What made you decide to do it different?
Well, because
you're like adding 3 more hours to it, right?
We're adding. Yeah, we are. We added this piece because we had the campus.
Right.
Which
is
when
awesome.
You rent, yes, because when you rent it, technically you have to rent it for the whole hours.
Right.
So we were like, well, if we're going to have it for the whole time, we might as well use it for the whole time.
Something going on there.
And Sarah was available, and she has taught for us before. She did a 1-day session for us a couple years ago, and she's just an amazing teacher. So since she said yes, and we had the space and the time, I was like, let's do it. And then her session's going to be followed up. This is going to be the first year we do this.
So she does 2 o'clock.
She does 2 o'clock to 4, and then from 4 to 7, we're going to have a book showcase time where authors can come and read out loud from their work, published or unpublished. You know, if you have a work that
How's that going to work? They're not going to like read out loud all at the same time, right?
No, there are going to be times, about 15 minutes of your work that you
So
can
do people
pick.
need to sign up to be part of that, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and you contact our author events director, Manu Lavoie, who will be the one in charge of budgeting and
How do
scheduling
they
that.
get a hold of her?
Her email's on our website.
Okay.
And
your
as a link.
website was put at the bottom by Amy.
Yes. So
She's being kind of quiet right now.
She is.
Okay.
She's saving herself.
But yeah, so that's going to be our first time, and then we'll have a chance for people to sell their book that night as well, and just kind of to showcase and party with books.
So what happens after 7?
After 7, we move to the Wyndham Hotel.
Which Wyndham?
It's the one that's off of the medical center, near the medical center. It's like right there next to Rice University. And we're going to be launching our book because the Houston Writers Guild has its own press, in-house press. And we have a collection of short stories, some nonfiction essays, some poetry, which are all surrounding the theme of celebrating diversity. And our volume is called Out of Many, One. To remind our nation that we are one, made up of many pieces.
And that's the theme of this
We're
entire
one.
conference is diversity, right?
Yes.
So if you go to the website, or there is a Facebook event page where you can also get information, and you'll see the beautiful cover that was designed by our president for Stott, and who's also a graphic designer and a lot of other stuff. Very talented person. And on there you'll see the title, and it's Cultivating Differences.
It's diverse inspirations, connecting the dots.
What's happened? Is it a cocktail party or what?
Yes, it's a cocktail party, and we're going to be launching the book. And I have a game that I have decided we're going to play.
But it's not like a banquet or anything.
No, it's just a very
Nothing
relaxed,
formal, kind
fun. Socializing, connecting with other participants and other authors, and our agents will be there,
and
which will be nice,
right? And in the to-do, in all those lists on YouTube and that sort of thing, where it says writers should always go to writer conferences, the mixing they always stress, and even if you're afraid, there'll be a big crowd there. So
yeah.
Is there going to be wine there?
There is going to be a cash bar. So
Then I will be there.
Yeah.
If wine's
Okay.
there, I'm there.
Look out. Because as funny as Amy is at the podcast, give her a couple glasses of wine and she is the entertainer of the night.
So we're definitely going to look forward to you. No, but we because we usually come up with like a game to play just for some fun, And so this time I was watching the old, those game shows, from like the 1970s and stuff. And I saw one, I'm like, oh my God, we need to do that. So yeah, so I have something up my sleeve.
So what's happening
Very
Saturday?
creative.
I'm crazy.
What's happening
That's what
Saturday
happened.
and Sunday?
Okay, so Saturday's our main day, and so we have our keynote speaker who is going to be talking about diverse inspirations and, how do you gather them, like in
And
Writer's
who's our
Notebook.
keynote speaker?
Oh, you would have to ask.
Oh, sorry.
Um,
On the website, you'll see a list of all the
Yeah,
speakers
so
with their
no.
bios.
And
I
the-
can't remember her.
And the keynote speaker
Wait.
speaks first thing in the morning, and then you have sessions all day, right?
Yes, she speaks from 9 to 10, and then from then on we have breakout sessions. So there's 3 speakers per session, and there's different topics.
What are some of the topics that you're?
Well, we have a professor from Lone Star College who's going to be talking about writing press releases and about writing for magazines, journals, and things like that to enhance your publishing credit. So he's going to be doing 2 different sessions. We have another professor who's coming from Sam Houston State University. And
So you get a lot of professors in to speak, right? Is
we
that-
do, but we also have authors. We also have authors and, best-selling authors that come and talk about their craft, who talk about their journey. We're going to have a session where we have an agent and an author, and their author. And they're going to talk about how they came together. What was the determining factor for the agent to decide to work with this author? And
Now,
then
there'll
the
be a lot
process of it.
There'll be a lot of writers at the conference that'll want to go to that session. That'll be one of
Oh,
the big sessions.
yeah.
'cause
I would say
a
so.
lot of
I want to go to
people-
that session.
Yeah, a lot of writers that want to do it the traditional way. That's what they worry all about, right?
Yes.
So
How
that'll
to
be a-
attract your agent. How do you work with an agent? A lot of people don't even know what agents do. They just know that they need one.
So if you've never been to a writers' conference where there were agents and you pitch to them, that's what
Yes,
they're going to do,
that's
right?
another thing
You will
on
have an
Saturday.
opportunity to pitch your book. And so I'm already working with a couple of my clients. So I'm the publicist and I do the PR for the Houston Writers Guild. I'm on the board. So I already have a couple of clients who really want to be traditionally published. And so Dallas Lewis is one of them. So we're working on her pitch now so she can be there ready to pitch because when you're pitching, there's a specific way you pitch to agents. And it's not the same that you pitch to be on Good Morning America.
How do you do it differently?
Well, that's what you're going to find out. So
That's the point of going to that session.
And that would be a really good future author talk, by the way. Maybe getting some agents to come talk about pitches. Because it is a very hard thing to do.
Well,
and to
not
do
just
the query
agents,
letters
because
and
there's a
stuff.
lot of ways to pitch. So I have to pitch every time I pitch to the Chronicle or
Right.
to get someone in them. But there's also pitching to bloggers
Yes.
and to speaking at conferences. And I have a whole list of different pitches that we're working on for all of our clients. Every client we have will have a pitch written by us by the end of January. So we already have the writers working on them. So
And we have 4 agents that are coming. Two of which are from New York, which is really the center for traditionally published authors.
it's the hubbub
It's
place.
the hub. But we have 2 that are coming from other places. One is in Mississippi-based
Is
literary
that the one
agency.
that it was at the last year's?
Joni?
Yeah.
Yes, we love Joni because one of the things that we're trying to do is to bring in agents that we know have actually signed contracts with some of our people, because we want to make sure that the agents that we're bringing are looking for people and actually picking people up from our conference, and so, but she has 3 of our HWG members who have published books thanks to her. So she's a really great one for us.
She's also an author herself.
She is an author herself. She just published her book, so it's very exciting to have her. And we got an editor, an acquisition editor, because everybody thinks agent. But actually, publishing houses have acquisition editors, and you can pitch to them. You can, and a lot of them come to conferences. And so we have one acquisition editor from Evernight Publishing, which is a romance publisher. Because, a lot of people want to write romance. And so
Well, the majority of books sold in America are romance genre.
it's a very hot genre.
It's like 60%.
In many ways.
It's
I
like
would've thought
60.
like the murder mystery ones would have been.
Romance
No,
is the biggest
it's like
one.
romance is like 60% of the books sold in America are romance books. Murder mysteries like 15%.
Oh wow, I must be the 15%.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
a
me
15%.
too. Me too. I like mysteries.
I feel like that makes it special, Russell.
I wonder if I wonder if that includes all mysteries, like true crime. All
I'm
the
just
way-
going off Amazon percentages.
Okay.
Amazon's our best friend.
Yeah, it is. Amazon's our friend.
If Amazon says it, then that's what I think.
And they're slightly evil.
Well, no doubt. Who would argue with that?
I know.
Was there something you needed to show us about the conference in one of these books?
No, basically, I just wanted to let y'all know. Okay, so our keynote speaker, whose name escapes me, Nina
But you can go to the
Nina.
webpage.
Sankovic, I believe. She is going to be talking about diverse inspirations. Where do you get your ideas? Where do you get your inspiration to write? And, one of the ways that authors do so is by, I have not met an author that doesn't have some type of writer's notebook. They may not be all this crazy stuff like this, but, they have these, in some form or fashion where they collect seeds of ideas, things that strike them, from where
Like
they
a stream of consciousness kind of thing.
Some do that. Some do like, I know some authors that do daily pages where they just sit down and write whatever comes to them. Some do writing prompts. Some do items like myself, like the little balloon and, other things that just strike you. I collect like postcards and stuff. Things that you just look and you're like, oh, this is cool. And you put
So
it there.
doesn't necessarily have anything to do with your writing.
Doesn't necessarily do so. Like I drew some crowns one time, and they became the inspiration for the novel that I hope to publish. Not this year, probably next year.
Are you already writing it?
I'm working. Yes,
What chapter are you on?
I'm done.
Oh, so you're finished the first draft.
I finished the
What
first
draft
draft.
are you on?
I'm in the middle of finishing the second revisions, and then it's going to go to my developmental editor so he can tell me what's wrong with it, and then I can fix it.
Right.
But so they were the inspiration for that, and sometimes you just collect stuff. Anything that at some point becomes an idea. And some stuff may never become anything, but it's just cool.
Most
to have.
stuff becomes nothing.
Pretty
You
much.
just got to work on
You
it.
just keep going.
Okay, well, thanks very much.
Thanks for being here
You're very
for
welcome.
2 of our sessions.